Well, welcome back everybody. Let's have a look at Matic then, shall we? So Matic's doing impressive stuff at the moment, and it's sort of way ahead than I thought it was going to be. We saw a golden cross take place here on the Satoshi value. That's happened a few days ago now, and we had this big red candle from there. We also had another attempt to get right back up, but then this super massive, just giant leaps. And we look on the tether pairing, what we did, we smashed way above the 2 cent area, which should have really caused a bit more of a little bit more resistance than that. I mean, we went straight through it, and now it would appear, and like I say, it would appear that on our first attempt to break down beneath it, that it's already turned to a support. I mean, it's I've been accumulating Matic for a long time, and those who watch my channel, it feels like from the feedback that I get from you lot that you have accumulated a lot of it too. So obviously we're all very impressed with this, but it's pretty. It's extraordinary, to be honest with you. I mean, you get lots of shit coins on other platforms that do this kind of thing, but with low liquidity. Matic's on the Binance platform, and it's no coin on Binance does this sort of thing. Anyhow, the thing to note anyway is this area here, this golden cross, which is about to form, and it would appear to me that it's basically going to form in the next couple of days. Now, with cryptocurrency in general, there is mass manipulation. It's just part and parcel of the way it works, okay? So we can look at an indicator like this that looks like it's definitely going to happen, and we could be dumped on like you wouldn't believe. So just be very, very mindful of that sort of thing. I'm not saying it's Binance, I'm not saying it's anyone specific, I'm just saying that, that is a plausible possibility. It can be completely counterintuitive. We haven't yet got this golden cross, and normally on any other asset, a golden cross on a daily chart is going to be extremely bullish, and I generally believe that this golden cross will form and will be bullish. But I have to warn you all out there that, after a big move like this, which is almost 100%, I mean, it'd be close to that. What's this going to be now? It probably has done 100% from this bottom wick from the top of this one. No, close to it. 88%, so very, very close to 100%. With very little to no pullbacks, we've just got to be very mindful that something like that should have a kind of a pullback, and it hasn't. And the golden cross is about to form, so I think for our next step now, we've got to wait for that to form for us to be 100% on this next leg up, and the next leg up is got to be here before, and we have to have some kind of retracement. We can't continue like this, because we'll end up doing this, which might be very good in the short term, but in the long term it's just going to break the coin back down again, and we'll end up in a consolidation phase all over again, which is something that we do not want. We don't want that. We want to hold some value, okay? I mean, I know that we've held a lot of value from where we started off. I mean, without question, we're doing extremely well from the very, very beginning of this. So it is holding value, but we do not want to see this madness take on, because what we will have is a long period of consolidation thereafter. Anyway, the important thing to note is that we have now broken above the 2 cent resistance, and it's now turned to support. Our next leg up is going to be to the 2.7 cent, where we have been rejected from after the parabolic move several times. So I would expect this time, when we get to it, we will be rejected, and similar to how we saw here, we should be rejected and perhaps knocked all the way back down to 2 cent and zigzag around in this area. Now, depending on the way that the formation looks while it's in this zone, you could consider this one or two things. That is, either you could call it another accumulation zone, where we could lurk around in this area for a while, and we need to see how constructive those waves look while we're in this pattern. We want to essentially be bouncing but making higher highs and higher lows throughout until we break above it. That's what we want to see. What we don't want to see is a parabolic move, break up above it and just come back down again, which is something that I am afraid of. I am very wary of that, should I say. Anyway, the other thing that I find extremely interesting about this setup right now is that it is the absolute opposite of the way that Bitcoin looks. Bitcoin is basically what it looks like Matic turned upside down. We have an incoming death cross, which appears to be about to take place any moment now. And again, with mass manipulation, what could happen is that some whale could just completely blow all of this up, shoot through here, just like we saw back here when the death cross was on its way to forming. Not as close as it is now, but it was getting quite dangerously close to forming back here. And what happened is this giant move. Now, in Bitcoin's defense, yeah, that was an extraordinary move that couldn't have really been accounted for. We did think that we would bounce a little from here, but I didn't think we'd bounce any higher than this area here of 7,700 before we continued down. It was that when that broke, I basically started to not worry, because obviously price is good, but I was a little bit taken aback, because the main reason I felt like we're going to have continuation on the way down is this cross here, the baseline over the conversion line on the Ichimoku cloud, telling us that there's going to be a continuation of the move down. And to see something like this, I was shocked. But when I saw that the candle body had closed beneath the descending trend that we've been stuck beneath, yes, we had a giant wick, but the candle body closed beneath there. It told me that pretty much we're still on for that continuation on the way down. But anyway, like I say, with Matic we've got a golden cross about to form. With Bitcoin we've got a death cross about to form. So there's completely conflicting things going on between these two assets, telling us exactly the opposite of each other. Now, because cryptocurrency in general is dictated often by the market, by the way that Bitcoin moves, the whole market is dictated by Bitcoin, generally speaking, I have to be extra wary as well, because I do expect Bitcoin to have this death cross and to collapse, as I do expect this to be a golden cross and break out. You can see my predicament here, because a death cross being the exact opposite of a golden cross generally would suggest that there's around roughly, give or take 35% either breakup or retracement after such an event. So with the two suggesting that they want to do the opposites, I've never seen a setup like this. It's got to be the first time this has ever happened in cryptocurrency land. I've never seen anything like this, and it's something that I really cannot account for, and I can't chart for it really. If it was just this happening, then yeah, I would say that there's a very strong chance that we're going to be looking very bullish. If it was just this happening on its own, I'd say Matic is going to be bearish as a result of this. But when the two are happening at the very same time, I mean, it's just going to be a very interesting experiment to see what the hell's going to happen. Because this golden cross will form, provided we're above the 200 exponential moving average, which we are way above at the moment. We've got to come back down beneath 1.5 cent for this death cross to be avoided. This golden cross, sorry, to be avoided. And again, with Bitcoin, we need to stay. If we want to avoid this death cross, we need to make our way all the way up and above 8,450. And we need to do both of these moves pretty much immediately for us to get out of the inevitable crosses forming. So, like I say, it's going to be a very interesting time over these next few days when these crosses form, if they form. But they do look like, I'd say, about 85% sure that both of these crosses are going to form. And we're just going to have to sit back and watch, because I can't tell you if Matic's going to continue to go up or if it's going to be dragged down. I can't tell you if it's going to shoot right through the roof and go parabolic. If we get the golden cross and it works, and we get the death cross and it works, what I can tell you is these satoshis are going to go through the roof, and maybe even back up to our all-time high, because Bitcoin is likely to go down to as low as 5,000, or perhaps maybe just a little lower. My overall target after a death cross is probably going to be around 4,900, thereabouts. That's where I'll be looking to buy things back, or at least attempting to buy things back. But with Bitcoin down at that level, and Matic, perhaps maybe reaching up to and about over 3 cents, then these sats are going to be huge. They're going to be ginormous. They will be bigger than this, because at this level here, where were we? Around May when this took place. Bitcoin in May, if I remember rightly, was around about 5,500. 5,500. Let me have a little look. Back in May, where were we? Oh no, I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. We were actually above the level that we are right now, so that'd be 8,400. An interesting level, because that's where the 200 exponential is right now. Right, I'm kind of talking out loud, but you get what I'm saying. We will have a lower Bitcoin value than we did when Matic had its value of Satoshi. So we will at that point, if both these crosses form, we will have a higher Satoshi value than our previous all-time high. We'll be up and above 600 Satoshis. Now that doesn't mean a great deal for the tether pairing, because, well, I mean, the tether will definitely go up, but we won't. We might not be looking at our all-time high with tether, but we will be surpassing our all-time high, essentially looking to double it from where it is right now, if both these crosses form. Be definitely an interesting place to put your Bitcoin, if you haven't already. I can see that the volume has definitely gone up quite a lot over these last few days. So, providing those Bitcoins stay there, and it looks like a safe enough place to keep them, and maybe even a really more than safe, perhaps maybe the best place to put them, perhaps during this time. But like I say, we're going to have to wait and see this one plays out. I'm sorry for rambling about this, because I have to just basically speak my mind. I cannot chart for this any other than this support and resistance level that we've got right now. It's, like I say, we've got a death cross and a golden cross about to form pretty much at the same time. It's a once in a lifetime situation I've never seen before, and I've never heard of before, with two assets that are clearly correlated with each other. Just through association. I mean, you know how all cryptocurrencies follow Bitcoin, and Bitcoin dominates the market and generally directs the trend. So you can see where I'm coming from. You can understand what it means that this is a once in a lifetime situation that I've never seen before. And if anybody who has seen something like this before, and I mean as closely linked and closely timed as what we're going to experience over this next probably 48 hours will have happened. Whatever's going to happen will have happened by then. If anyone else has experienced something similar to that, please let me know. Put it down in the comments below, because I'd really like to see exactly how that played out, and that should give some kind of insight into what is likely to happen now, because your guess is as good as mine. We're up 80% over these last few days. We're likely to perhaps maybe even double our value from where we are right now within the next month if we carry on like this with this golden cross, and our Satoshis are going to be sky high, breaking our all-time high on Matic if both of these things form. So anyway, I've rambled on for long enough. I've still got a bit of a cold, so thanks for staying in and watching, and I hope you have a nice evening. Take it easy.